What's going on, everybody? We got some rumors surrounding DJ Moore and Odell Beckham Jr. to talk about in today's show. So I wanted to ask you guys, if you had to pick one of these players to be on the Giants right now, who would it be? Type 2 for DJ Moore or 13 for Odell Beckham Jr.? Shout out to the real ones. You're watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. We got some loaded rumors in today's show. We're first going to talk about DJ Moore, and then we'll talk about Odell Beckham to end today's show because there's some new developments coming out of the Odell Beckham Jr. camp. It is crazy what is going around with OBJ and the New York Giants. I first want to pull up this tweet from NYG Rumors and News, NYG Rumor Mill, because we have a tweet coming from them in a second that I want to show you guys. But first, I wanted to show this one. Look at the date. Back on the 20th of September, they tweeted out that per source, wide receiver Odell Beckham has been in contact with the Giants front office at least once within the last few weeks. There is mutual interest for him to return. They tweeted that out. And then the following week, Odell Beckham visited or didn't visit the New York Giants. So I'm not saying what they say is set in stone and in truth, but they were right about this Odell Beckham Jr. tweet. And then they tweeted out yesterday that a report came out that the New York Giants have called about Panthers wide receiver DJ Moore and Terrace Marshall Jr. per Fox Sports. I went through Fox Sports' Twitter. I looked at Jay Glazer. I looked at everything they posted content-wise on social media yesterday. I didn't see this report, but this same report came out from the account that reported about OBJ in the New York Giants. So I don't know if it's 100% true, but I want to talk about the idea about it. Because look, the Panthers, and Jay Glazer did say this, that they will be looking to sell some of their assets, starting with Christian McCaffrey. He talked about the players could look to, the Panthers, could look to trade some players to get some future draft capital back. And could they look to trade DJ Moore? And if the Giants have called, for a good reason, because their wide receiver depth chart right now, it's just broken. Kenny Golladay, hurt. Sterling Shepard, out for the season. My heart still hurts for number 3. Kadarius Toney, he's hurt. Maybe he plays this week. I doubt it. Wan'Dale Robinson, maybe he plays this week. I think he's closer than Toney, but your top 4 wide receivers are hurt. And that leaves you with a healthy Richie James, a healthy David Sills, and a healthy Darius Slayton, who actually played pretty well in Week 5 against the Green Bay Packers. You could once again call up wide receivers off the practice squad like Marcus Johnson, UT legend, who played pretty good for the Giants last week. You still got Khalil Pimpleton, Mekhi Polk, and then you signed Robert Foster earlier this week to your practice squad. So maybe he's the guy that the Giants are going to elevate off their practice squad. But looking at the practice squad and looking at the depth chart, I think me and you can agree on one thing. The Giants need to add a wide receiver. And adding a guy like DJ Moore would be crazy. And some of you people are already probably saying, I can hear it in the comments right now, but Marshall, we don't have any cap space. Wait a second. I'll tell you about that in a second. We know that DJ Moore is great. In 2021, he had 93 grabs for almost 1,200 yards, 4 touchdowns, nearly 13 yards per catch. In 2020, he was electric. 66 grabs for almost 1,200 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 18 yards per catch. Never really a high touchdown volume type of guy, but in my opinion, he's not an elite number 1, but I think he's in that tier 2, tier 3 of number 1 wide receivers in the NFL. And the Giants right now, they don't have one. So far through 5 weeks of the season, playing with Baker Mayfield, his stats don't all look that great. It's tough to play wide receiver with Baker Mayfield. Ask Odell Beckham Jr. But 17 grabs through 5 games, almost 200 yards, does have 1 touchdown and averaging about 12 yards per catch. DJ Moore would be a difference maker in this Giants offense. I think he's the guy that would fit in really, really well because he does what this offense and this staff asks of their wide receiver, to get open, catch the ball in space, and be able to be a generator with the football in the open field. DJ Moore is a yards after catch machine. But let's talk about his contract here for a second before we get to a trade idea I have cooked up for you guys. He has a 2022 dead cap of $5 million, meaning if the Panthers trade him, they have a dead cap number of $5 million in 2022 and $14.6 in 2023. But we're seeing across the NFL that teams aren't afraid of that dead cap anymore. Look at what the Eagles did a couple years ago with Carson Wentz. I don't even want to talk about how well they're playing right now, but you know what the Eagles are doing. And then look at what the Falcons are doing this year. They're like $70 million in dead cap with Deion Jones, Julio Jones, and Matt Ryan no longer in the building. But it would only cost the Giants in 2022 $1 million because that is how much DJ Moore's salary cap or his base salary is for the 2022 season. He does have some more expensive years coming down the pipeline, but right now he would only cost $1 million. And the Giants, they could make $1 million work. You'd have to shuffle some things around, and they would have the money next year and the year after to pay him then. That's when the Giants will have some of the most salary cap space in the NFL. I think the Giants should pursue DJ Moore in a trade. But the rumors also said that they were interested in Terrace Marshall, the former second-round wide receiver at LSU. I'm not all that high on Terrace Marshall Jr. I liked him coming out of LSU, but this hasn't really produced in the NFL. 21 receptions, 168 yards in 15 games played. Hasn't scored a touchdown. He did have to play football with Baker Mayfield this year, Sam Darnold last year, and the carousel they've had at the quarterback spot. So maybe if he came to the Giants, he'd fit a little bit better with Daniel Jones. But if I was making a trade for one of those guys, it would be DJ Moore. And we'll show you a trade idea for DJ Moore we cooked up in the office here at Chat Sports in a second. But first, guys, I told you yesterday, we were in a sub-battle with the Ravens Rundown, another channel here at Chat Sports hosted by Tyler Jones. And I'm going to be honest, I am not going to take an L this week to Tyler Jones. So if you want to beat the Ravens, subscribe. Sub for Giants Dubs. We put out videos every single week on the latest, every single day, on the latest Giants news and rumors. So if you're looking for a one-stop shop on YouTube that covers the Giants, hit that big red button. And let's not only beat the Ravens on the playing field this weekend, let's beat them in the sub battle. Sub for Giants Dubs. Don't jinx it. Let's take a look at a DJ Moore trade idea here. It's going to cost a lot. The Panthers just signed him to an extension a couple of years ago. Still a young player, still a really productive player. So you're not going to get him on the cheap. So what about, I'm not trading a first-round pick for DJ Moore. There's a lot more needs on this team than a wide receiver in the first round. But I understand that argument. And I do think it's time for the Giants to add a wide receiver. If you're going to play this good, and you have the opportunity to really evaluate Daniel Jones, adding a wide receiver is only going to help you do that and will get you to a decision off he's really that guy. So what about a 2023 second and third round pick for DJ Moore? This might not even be enough in the Carolina Panthers' eyes, but I want to ask every Giants fan watching this show right now, would you make this trade? A second and a third round pick for DJ Moore? If you would, type A for accept in the comment section. Or if you think this is too much for DJ Moore, that's cool. Let me know what you think. Type D for decline. I also want to give a shout out to our proud sportsbook partner, BetUS. When you go to chatsports.com/bet and use that promo code, chat125, they're going to hook you guys up with a 125% deposit bonus. You could bet on the Yankees. Can't bet on the Mets anymore. That stinks. But you can bet on the Knicks. You can bet on the Giants. You can bet on anything with our proud sportsbook partner, BetUS. Just go to chatsports.com/bet and use that promo code, chat125, for a free $125 if you deposit $100. Let's talk a little bit now about Odell Beckham Jr. because the Giants were contacted by the NFL about the visit for the New York Giants. And look, you can't be really all that excited if you are the New York Giants about Odell Beckham essentially leaking that he met with the New York Giants. Josina Anderson reported that. And look, maybe it wasn't a meeting. Maybe it was a meeting, but I can tell you this much. The Giants didn't want it getting out there, and they had to talk to the league and say it wasn't a meeting because you are supposed to tell the NFL about every official meeting that you have with an NFL free agent. Giants said they didn't have that with Odell Beckham Jr., but I do think there's a little bit more to the story than him just checking out Sterling Shepard's knee. Let's go through a series of tweets because there are some updates on Odell Beckham Jr. A fan on Twitter told him, OBJ, we need you back right now, just a couple of days ago on the 9th, 2 days ago. And he said, LOL, tell him hit my agent, man. I see the boy shining. I absolutely love to see it. Then Lynette Kaiser of the WNBA tweeted at Odell Beckham and said, stop playing with us. OBJ, we're good now. Please sign back. And he replied to her and said, I emojis, big energy. He has been teasing and taunting and egging on Giants fans on Twitter for weeks. If you watch the show, we've done multiple videos about it. But I do want to make this clear that I don't think the Giants are in the top 5 for Odell Beckham Jr. because back on the 6th of October, Marcus Spears was asked by OBJ to list out the top 5 destinations that Odell Beckham Jr. should consider. And Marcus Spears of ESPN said Kansas City, Green Bay. Yeah, how about that? Green Bay, yeah, we just waxed them in London. The Rams, Buffalo, and be more. Yeah, we'll see you, Aaron Rodgers. Stick to the opium, my guy. But Odell Beckham Jr. then responded to Marcus Spears and said, we see eye to eye. And that one hurt a little bit because I'd love to have Odell Beckham Jr. back with the Giants this year. Still a couple of weeks away from coming back, maybe even a month. Sounds like November is the time Odell Beckham Jr. is going to come back. And if he's going to be any type of player that he was with the LA Rams last year, I'd love to see number 13 back in Big Blue. He truly transpired and changed that offense with the Rams. Watch the Rams this year. They missed number 3. They missed what he could bring to the football field. I mean, in 9 games, he had 31 catches for 359 yards and 6 touchdowns. He damn near scored every single time he played a game with the Rams. He was on his way to being the Super Bowl MVP with the Rams, and they miss him. Matt Stafford, he doesn't look the same without Odell Beckham. I know it's another year, another ACL surgery. I still think he could be great. I do believe that with Odell Beckham Jr. But I don't think he comes back to the Giants this year. He wants to go win another Lombardi trophy. He wants to go get another Super Bowl ring. I love this football team. I'm rooting like hell for them to get to the Super Bowl. I just don't know if we're ready to get there right now. But next year, when the Giants have some of the most cap space in the NFL, I do think there is a good opportunity and a good chance for the Giants to then sign Odell Beckham Jr. There's clearly a discourse and a connection between OBJ and the Giants and OBJ and the fans and number 13. He loves it here. We love it here. We want him back. We just don't have the money right now to sign him. And I do think there is an opportunity next year when Joe Schoen really has a chance to restructure, and remold and shape this roster with some flexibility in free agency. Odell Beckham Jr. could be a guy the Giants target in free agency. I want to ask you guys this question. Do you want OBJ to come home, finish his career with the Giants? Do you want to see 13 in Big Blue one more time? If you do, type OBJ for yes. Or if you don't want the blonde hair Mohawk maniac back at MetLife, type NOBJ. Yeah, NOBJ for no. I appreciate everybody, whether you type OBJ or NOBJ, for watching today's show. If you made it this far in the video, that means you're a real one. So comment down below real one so I know who finished the video.